Over the past year, we've exposed how Sweet Baby Inc. has embedded itself in the gaming industry, rewriting narratives, shifting priorities, and shaping entire projects from the shadows. They've dodged accountability. They've pretended it's all harassment. That Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what gamers think it does. But now, someone might finally be pulling the plug. A verified SBI insider has come forward with something massive. Sony has started canceling contracts, specifically the ones with SBI attached. Hello, and what is going on, everybody? It is Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Writing Raven.
Welcome back to Gothic Therapy. Our Sweet Baby Inc. insider has come forward with some very interesting information involving Sweet Baby Inc. And this time, it involves Sony.
But before we jump in, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, join the night shift, and stay up to date with everything they don't want you to know.
Before we dive into the insider information, we'd be remiss not to mention that Sweet Baby Inc.'s CEO, Kim Belair, was already in the news recently.
Thanks in part to the work of my amazing husband.
Guilty as charged. At GDC, Kim gave a talk about artificial intelligence in gaming, saying it should be used for empathy and inclusion, not profit, which is a little ironic considering what her company actually does behind the scenes.
I wonder if she named her AI Bowser.
That joke will never get old.
Kim preaching inclusivity with AI is pretty rich.
When the biggest name in gaming might be cutting ties with her company entirely. A source we've fully verified, someone who's given us solid info in the past, reached out with a claim. Sony has started canceling projects that had Sweet Baby Inc. attached.
We don't know every project, and we can't confirm each title independently, but the source was very clear. These cancellations weren't random. They were deliberate.
If a verified insider isn't enough for you, that's fine. Treat it like a rumor. But we stand by the source 100%. And what they told us tracks with what's been happening behind the scenes. Back in January, multiple reports surfaced that Sony was quietly canceling half a dozen in-development games. Titles weren't named, but they were described as major projects, some already years into development.
And this wasn't just casual restructuring. These were deliberate, targeted cuts. Projects that were already deep into production suddenly dropped without explanation.
If Sweet Baby Inc. was embedded in any of those titles, Sony may have finally decided it wasn't worth the risk.
And it gets even juicier.
According to our insider, Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in a follow-up to God of War Ragnarok. Whether that was a DLC, a spin-off focused on Atreus, or even a full sequel, we can't say for sure. But what we do know is this: that project may no longer be moving forward.
And it wouldn't be their first time. Sweet Baby Inc. had narrative involvement in Ragnarok itself. They even posted about it.
So if they were embedded again in the sequel, and that's one of the contracts Sony just axed, then Sony might have pulled the plug on a flagship project because it had the Sweet Baby stink all over it.
So what does this actually mean?
It could mean the industry is finally pushing back. That after all the narrative meddling, after all the consultant-driven homogenization, Sony might be the first domino to fall.
If they're canceling SBI-attached products quietly, what other studios might follow? What other consultants might suddenly stop getting calls?
We're not saying Sweet Baby Inc. is finished, but if they were part of a God of War sequel that got cut, that's not a trim, that's a power move. Sony might be sending a message, and we heard it loud and clear. The fight is not over. This is just the beginning.
And you better believe we'll be watching what happens next.
Because sometimes, even the gods get dethroned.
And sweet babies get spanked.
advice obscure. Here's your dark solace with humor as a cure.